What's up, beautiful? Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kat. This is my channel, and I put out new videos on Wednesdays surrounding my VSG journey as well as fashion and lifestyle content. Be sure to subscribe and like this video if you want to see more content like this. So today, as you can see by the title, I'm doing kind of a 9-10 month update. I think I got the numbers screwed up in April or March, but this is to basically recap June. I know we're basically halfway through July, but you know, this is what happens. My weight loss between June 1st and July 1st was relatively insignificant. It was 2 pounds. I am now 74 pounds down, which is really exciting. What changed in June was that I added in heavy weightlifting. I increased my weights every other week or so and have continued to do so for the month of July as well. So when you increase weights, you increase muscle mass and weight loss can stall. So last time I was talking about plateaus and now I'm in a different sort of plateau. I have a smart scale that can tell me what my muscle mass is or can estimate it pretty well. So I have been using that and I have seen an increase in my muscle mass, so I know that is what is happening. It is difficult to see other people's journeys online and watch them lose weight faster than I am and see the number on the scale drop faster for them than it is for me, but that is not my journey. I'm trying very hard to not compare myself. What I did want to talk to you guys about today is the importance of taking your measurements. If I had not taken my measurements and I was not using a scale that measures all of those various things, it measures BMI, which is garbage, but it does. It measures bone density, muscle mass, water retention rates, everything. And I have it linked down below. I know a few of you went and purchased it after because it is an Amazon affiliate link. I think I make like 1 cent if you click on it and purchase it. But just so you're aware. But I took my measurements this time in May, did not take them in June, and then just took them this morning before filming this video. And I've seen significant changes in my measurements in the last 2 months, which is critical to this weight loss process because between when I took my measurements last and today, let's look at that. Yeah, I only lost 2 pounds. So I really have only lost 2 pounds between May and July. But I have lost a significant number of inches off of my body, which tells me my body is recompositioning, I am gaining muscle mass, and my clothes are fitting differently. I'm still shrinking. My mom is calling me the incredible shrinking woman right now. But I am seeing results even if the results are not showing up on the scale. I know that at my doctor's office, they would consider that a failure to not see the number on the scale, which I think is mismessaging for a doctor's office. I don't particularly appreciate that because I am seeing changes, but I'm just not seeing changes on the scale. So I have my laptop pulled up. I have an extensive measurement chart over here. So let me just read a couple of these off for you. So I'm gonna look over here at this. I've lost 1/2 inch off of my biceps, which is an area, this is my biggest area of concern right now. I am pretty sure that I'm gonna have this loose skin here for a minute. So I focused on training arms a little bit more this month and I lost 1/2 inch, which is great for me because I haven't seen a change in my arms since March. So, and it's one of those things where like if I'm just letting it hang in the wind and not like flexing or anything, and I do measure my arms on the widest part. I have always been measuring them. So I could like measure my arms differently. I could hold my arm differently and I'd probably get a smaller measurement, a different direction. But that's not how I'm doing it. So I measure over my breasts. I lost 1.5 inches here. I lost 1 inch off of my breasts. My band stayed the same. I lost another 1 inch off of my waist. I'm almost into the 20s in my waist, which is really exciting. I lost 2 more inches off of my stomach. I measured directly across my belly button for that measurement, if you're wondering. I lost another 1 inch off my hips, another 1 inch off of my butt, 1/2 inch off of one thigh, and an entire inch off of another thigh. And then my calves and my neck stayed the same. So I lost at least 1/2 inch off of every area of my body except my calves and my neck and my forearms. Which, I mean, once you get to a certain point, like how much smaller are these guys gonna get? That's what I mean when I say the number on the scale is not always showing the change, because if I had just gone off the scale and realized that I'd only lost 2 pounds between March 15 and July 17 or July 13, I would be devastated, right? But to see that I've lost significant inches off of all of these areas, I'm pretty happy with that. Am I hoping that the scale will start dropping again? Yes. Has it actually started dropping again in the last 2 weeks? Yes, it has. So I'm hoping that things are regulating, and this is kind of what happens. You know, you build muscle, then the fat drops off. You build muscle, and then it takes time for these things to regulate. And I know my doctor's office does not take into consideration heavy weightlifting. In fact, they encourage cardio, which cardio is great for your health, but if you want to see the kind of changes that I want, cardio is not going to get me there. I do have cardio in my workout routine, but it is once a week instead of what I was doing previously in other weight loss attempts, which was cardio almost every day. I am more interested in building muscle and being strong at the end of the day. So if you're not following me on Instagram, be sure to do so, because I have some Q&A questions from you guys that I'm going to pull up right now. Every once in a while, I'll put up a question sticker and you can ask questions and I will answer them in these videos, or I do polls regularly to get to know you guys, those kinds of things. So just be sure you're following me on Instagram. So here are a couple of questions. The first one is, when were you able to start working out? I believe I was cleared at 6 weeks. That's when I started, and I think it was too soon for me. I got kind of lightheaded and I had some pain at my incisions, so I stopped. In the last 3 months is kind of when I've really kicked it into high gear. So I would say 7 months is when I really started. But I know a lot of people wait until like the 6-month mark, and that's totally fine too. You should do it whenever you're comfortable, and you should definitely ease yourself into it. Jess wants to know if my shoe size has changed. Has it gotten smaller? No, I have not had any significant changes in my foot size that I'm aware of. I never had to get bigger shoes because I gained weight. I've consistently been a size 8 since, I stopped growing or whatever. My fingers have changed significantly, and I'm almost to the point where I have to resize my wedding ring. I think in the next 20 pounds or so, I'll have to resize my wedding ring. Mel wants to know if I've had any teeth issues. No. My dad's a dentist. If I had teeth issues, then that would have been resolved pretty quickly. I'm not really sure what teeth issues you would have. Possibly if you were having a lot of issues with vomiting, there could be some concern with enamel breakdown due to the stomach acid from vomiting. That's what people with bulimia have issues with. Their teeth go rotten because they throw up and the stomach acid ruins the enamel on their teeth. But I have not had any, and I don't know anybody that has. But if that is a concern for you, seek medical attention, ask your doctor. And for the record, before answering any more questions, I am not a doctor, so this is just my experience. Amy says, you mentioned hair loss and heartburn. Have you developed any other symptoms? So I have had hair loss, and I have a whole video on that, so be sure to watch that if you're interested. Heartburn, I don't have heartburn. I think that's a misunderstanding of what the situation is. When you have the surgery and you eat too much, you feel nauseous. That's kind of what I've explained. And on my Instagram, I post every day on my stories and try to kind of explain what's happening today or how I'm feeling and really show the reality of this surgery. So again, go follow me over there if you're more interested in the day-to-day. Caroline wants to know if I count calories every day. No. It's not realistic for me to count calories every single day, and I can become obsessive when I get in those kinds of situations. So when I noticed that my weight was not changing in the last couple of months, I decided to go ahead and start counting calories again to see if what I was doing was not providing enough of a calorie deficit. It was, so I decided to continue to intuitively eat essentially. But I do try to pay pretty close attention to what I'm doing. But you have to just do whatever feels right for your body. Since you can only eat small portions at a time, do you ever get really hungry like after an hour later? Yeah, and then I just eat something else, basically. What food or drink do you miss the most? Diet Coke, or literally anything carbonated. I know a lot of people say that you can have carbonated stuff. My doctor says you can't, so ask your provider if you can or cannot. Brittany wants to know if any products have been helping me with my loose skin. So far, the only loose skin that I am running into right now is what I showed you earlier on my biceps. I've just been trying to keep that skin lotioned and been working on it in the gym to try to tighten it up as much as possible. But I'm using the Strivectin, is it Strivectin stretch mark cream? I included it in another video. I'll put a link to it down below. Rachel wants a side-by-side comparison before and after VSG. I will pop one up, but also be sure to hit me up on Instagram because I have a couple up there. I don't want my Instagram feed to just consistently be all before and after photos. I don't want my life to be taken over by this. It has to an extent, but I don't want to be the VSG girl, or I don't want to be the, it's not everything important about me. So I'm trying not to be too crazy immersed in the VSG community. Would I eventually consider plastic surgery to help with loose skin? Yes and no. I'm not going to have any plastic surgery done until after we have kids, which will be in the next couple of years, and my guess is we'll have just one. But there's no point in doing it until after I've done that, basically. I will never get plastic surgery done on my arms. I know a lot of people do it, and that's totally cool. It's completely your thing. I'm not interested in having those seams those seam scars. They're never straight, they're never pretty, and I don't know, maybe eventually I'll be so sick of my arms that I'll do it, but right now I don't see that happening. And I know a lot of people that have had pretty good results from lifting weights and helping tighten some of the loose skin. You cannot completely tighten it, but I think I'm young enough that my skin will be able to bounce back for the most part. My guess is that after I have kids, I might have some on my lower stomach, and I don't have a problem getting a tummy tuck. If I do, you'll see a video on it, I'm sure. And when I was 17, I had a breast reduction. I think I have a video on that somewhere here on YouTube, but I have said for years that I wanted to get my boobs redone anyway, so I'm gonna get another reduction and augmentation, essentially. I'm not gonna get implants or anything, but if we weren't having kids, I would probably get a breast augmentation next year, honestly. It's something I really want done. As soon as you remove the extra fat in your breasts from weight loss and what's left is just breast tissue, I have a lot of like skin that's no longer full here. Your boobs are supposed to be up where your pecs are, and my pecs are here and my boobs are here, and it's just not spectacular, but I mean, that's the reality. So I've already had them done once. I know what the procedure looks like. I know how I'll react to it to an extent. I mean, I had it done when I was 17, so having it done at 30 would be a different healing process, but I at least know what to expect, and I have a doctor I trust that could do it again. So the answer is yes and no. Certain things I will do, certain things I won't do. I don't know how much loose skin I'm gonna have on my thighs. I think I'll have a little bit on my inner thighs, maybe, but I'm not gonna get plastic surgery done on my legs. Absolutely not. Okay, I get this question a lot. What's your average weekly weight loss since surgery? That is a loaded question. It's gonna change with everybody, and it is not a good marker of how your journey is gonna be on this after this surgery. So asking people what they eat in a day, which I've done, and asking people how many calories they consume a day, or what their weekly weight loss is not a good, it's not gonna help you. You think it's gonna help you to get a frame of mind, but it's really not, because I have seen people like me that have very slow weight loss progression, and then I've seen other people that lose 100 pounds in 6 months. So you really just have to pay attention to your body. Right now, my weekly weight loss is basically nothing. You know what I mean? But the first month, my weekly weight loss was 2 to 3 pounds. Rebecca, who always watches every video and comments on every story on Instagram, I love you, girl. She sent me this question in my inbox because the little question box is not big enough. She knows that I've mentioned babies down the line, sends us our best wishes. Do I have concerns about dieting and getting pregnant post VSG? How would the diet nutrition plan change or adjust? And how do you feel about gaining weight back after losing it? I love you, Rebecca. This is a loaded question. This is something that is very difficult for me to talk about. and perhaps I'll do a whole video on it eventually. We do want children. I really don't think I want to do this more than once. This being be pregnant more than once. I do have concerns about the diet. I am concerned about gaining weight, but I'm going to be, I have an appointment with my lady doctor in August to discuss the procedure I've done. A lot of OBGs are not familiar with VSG patients because a lot of us wait to have VSG until after childbirthing years. So it is a concern, but having VSG can produce a fertility boost, which is excellent. A lot of people, this was the first question I asked my doctor, honestly, how is this gonna affect me having children down the line? And he said many people get a fertility boost when they are cleared from VSG to start trying to get pregnant. So it can also help ensure that you are in the best shape of your life to have a baby, because if you are plus sized, if you're plus sized and pregnant, you can be considered high risk for various reasons. So I'm gonna speak with my doctor about this to see if she needs to get herself educated or how I can help educate her on what my system looks like and how it works now. I am working with a psychologist to address the mental health concerns I have attached to gaining weight after this surgery, which is, I think, critical. A lot of people just continue to see a regular doctor after their surgery and do not continue to address the mental health issues associated with overeating and severe weight gain and morbid obesity. I have continued to work with an individual of my choosing monthly, sometimes weekly, depending on how I'm feeling, to address these issues because it is very important. And I know a lot of you guys have mentioned that I am more upbeat, I am happier, I have a better attitude. They can see how excited I am about my body now, and they're seeing my mood lift in videos. And thank you for mentioning that and bringing those things to my attention, because I used to be in a really dark place and this surgery has really changed my life. And I know there are some scary things about it, but it is gonna significantly alter my ability to carry a child to full term. I am high risk because I had blood clots in my lungs 2 years ago. So having had those blood clots, I will probably have an induction date. This is something I've already discussed with my OBG, and I do plan on working with a registered nutritionist or dietitian to ensure that I only gain what is necessary. And I know a lot of women say if you need to gain 50 pounds to carry your baby to term, then you need to gain 50 pounds to carry your baby to term. That's not gonna work for me. It's just not. I don't think I could gain 50 pounds and be in the same state of mind that I'm in right now. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. And a lot of how much weight I'm gonna gain or how much weight I need to gain according to my doctor is gonna be determinant on what weight I end up at the end of this. There is no end of this, but when I kind of level off and I hit the 2-year mark, which is basically it's 18 months to 24 months is when you're cleared post VSG to start trying. So when I hit that 2-year end mark, we'll see what weight I'm at, and that will tell me how much weight I'm allowed to gain during my pregnancy. So it makes me really anxious, to be quite honest. The idea of working so hard to get here and then having to gain weight, it really scares me. It's really scary, but I'm working with my psychiatrist to address the mental issues that I am concerned about with weight gain and pregnancy in general. And I'm gonna work with a dietitian to ensure I don't gain too much weight and to ensure that I am able to pull the weight off successfully afterwards. That's another thing VSG helps. It helps you have a tool in place to pull that weight off when you're ready to do so. So that's the short version. I hope you'll take it at that. It's very difficult for me to talk about when you go through this surgery and you go through this process. The idea of gaining weight is terrifying. But I don't want it to deter anyone from doing the surgery and then having babies, because it is the best thing you can do for your future children to take care of yourself. And that is part of the reason why I did the surgery. I wanted to be able to have children safely, be able to be a good mom, and, you know, be down on the ground playing with them or riding bikes or swimming in the ocean or doing all those things and being able to be physically active with my children someday. So on that note, I am going to end this video. I cannot believe that next month is the 11-month mark and September 1st is quickly creeping up on me, my 1-year anniversary of VSG. It's completely mind-blowing, and thank you to all of you who have joined me on this insane journey. If you made it this far in the video, leave me a blue butterfly in the comments. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I love you more than anything, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.